Hello folks, this is Paragon RG bringing you another daily casted match of Age of Empires 4. In this particular match, we have a mirror match, in fact, the Holy Roman Empire on the Danube River. So I selected this match in part because we usually see civs like Delhi and the Mongols on this match, and this one seemed pretty funky with a mirror match. So perhaps both players trying out some things here, maybe surprised to see that they both went with the same civ. In the blue, in the west and northwest of the map, we have the Viper. And in the red, we have Fitzbro. So his name here is Fitzy here. But Fitzbro, he is a streamer. You can check him out. He's generally streaming on Twitch and uploads to YouTube as well. So he's in the red on the east of the map. So what we want to look out for in this match is obviously any differences in build order. So right off the top, let's take a quick look. Viper produced a prelate. Looks like pretty early. It's I didn't see exactly when he made it, but one of the first things he did was produce a prelate. Now, for those who are new to the game, prelates are like a monk type unit. They're useful for healing and picking up relics around the map and things like that. But what's special to every civ has a unit like that. But what's special to the Holy Roman Empire is that their prelate is able to boost villagers. So you see this little yellow glow on villagers, and you'll see this guy raise his hands every little once in a while, and there you go. So you see a new villager get that glow, and that actually gives them 40% faster resource gather time. So if that seems crazy, it is. That's a huge difference in how quickly you're able to gather resources. There is still walking time and actual drop-off time, so it probably amounts to something more like 25 to 30% actual speed, but super, super useful. And so what we'll generally see is the first landmark chosen for the Holy Roman Empire is the Aachen Chapel, which is basically just a building. Let's say you place it here. Actually, where's his gold? Oh, it's actually a little awkward. Let's say he places it here. It'll have a circular radius, a circular area, I should say, where you can put a prelate in it, and then it will automatically provide that bonus to everyone in that area. Because this one wears off. So you will, you can only get so much out of it, and then you have to make multiple prelates and so on. So what that allows for is it opens up, at the end of the game, you can have farms around it, and the villagers are gathering really quickly. You can get professional scouts, run around, gather the deer, kill the deer, gather their, bring their meat back, drop it off at the Aachen Chapel, and then collect. It's already faster collecting meat from deer than it is from, say, farming or from berries, and then you'll get the 40% bonus as well. So it really opens up a whole bunch of possibilities for the HRE, and is probably one of the few things keeping them in the game as, let's say, like a mid-tier civ, and in some cases actually performing pretty well. We see pretty much the same thing from Fitzy. His prelate is closer to the wood. He's worried mostly about wood right now. Now, I probably should have been a little more. I was focused on the tier 1 landmarks we're going to see. Both players have a dock, so that's why they are so heavy on wood right now. They're both building as many fishing ships as they can, so they can ramp up their economies, help them. Maybe they won't be faster to the feudal age, but their economies will be rampaging once they get there. And the Viper actually going with 2 docks. So that's not something we usually see out of players on this map. Usually a second dock would come a little bit later once you're in the feudal age, once you're looking to, let's say, start building military ships, and you want to put the hurt on your opponent. What do we see down here? Just scouts fighting away, I guess. Lots of sheep and wolves following Fitzy. He doesn't need the wolves. He's not like Roos. He doesn't get any bonus for killing those. It's funny that wolves chase men on horses, but they do not chase sheep. Although it kind of looks like that's what's happening here. Do we see what happens? 3 wolves on 1 scout. Yeah, he's paying attention. He won't let that happen. So I think the Viper should have a bigger economy right now. 27 for him, 25 for his opponent. That might not seem like an awful lot. It is because they're fishing ships, and fishing ships gather more quickly, and any advantage now can definitely steamroll later in the game. Viper's scout taking some shots from the town center. We see that Aachen Chapel from Fitzy. This is a much better, well, at least it's closer to the gold. It's farther from the tree line, so that's a little more difficult for him. But I'll show you the radius once this thing is made. Viper hasn't started it yet, and I think that's in large part because he went for 2 dogs. So really trying to ramp up on fish, and I expect we're going to see him pulling ahead. So 31 now economy, so that's villagers and fishing ships, and in theory trade ships, things like that, versus 25. So definitely he will be quite a bit slower to the next stage, but he will be in a better spot economically when he does it, and we see Viper places that here. So he placed it just so that it would reach the gold, no tree line, and then his sheep should be within range as well. And if he does go for professional scouts, oh yeah, and it reaches the berries as well, which is nice. So that will work for him as well. He'll have the mill here. Later he can put farms around it. So overall, good positioning there. So I think Fitzy needs to be careful because there's already an 8 economic difference here from, let's say 8, 9 from these players. And Viper might run away with this if Fitzy isn't careful. Viper's going to hit feudal, and either... Oh, Fitzy's going for a really fast castle. So this is finished. You'll notice he almost has the resources he needs. I guess he's far away on gold, but he has the food he needs already for Castle Age, and he needs 300 more gold, and he can click up. And so probably what he'll do is he'll be placing the Regnitz Cathedral, which what it does is allows for placing these relics in it. And relics normally generate 100 gold per minute when they are placed in a monastery type building. But in that building, they generate 300 gold per minute. Now you can only have 3 in it, but 900 gold per minute is pretty insane. So he is going to click up very shortly. This prelate is already headed out, as is this one. So he's going out to grab the relics right away. And Viper is probably going to start looking for that. He knows this kind of play is par for the course with the... pardon me. With the Holy Roman Empire. And he himself is playing the Holy Roman Empire. So he's also going for the Regnitz Cathedral. This is interesting to me because I think Fitzy probably... Look how many villagers are on it. 20? So he is really trying to hit this quickly. Look how fast this thing's being built. So he wants those relics ASAP, and he is almost all in on this strategy, right? If he does not get those relics, I think we can predict he will very probably lose the game. Staple coming out for the Viper. So, okay, the play here is basically make a couple of horsemen, probably, and compete for the relics. So he knows his opponent has hit the Castle Age and is already grabbing relics. So, oh no, he's going straight for Lancers. Okay, so the Viper will be competing for these relics. Does he lose the Scout? Doesn't quite lose the Scout. Comes back to chip away at him, try to kill that Prelate. Though I don't think he will succeed in doing so. Look at this, though. Fitzbro made so... He's got every... Does he have every relic on the map? So he was so fast to Castle Age, but not just that. The fact that he already had all the prelates everywhere on the map, right? So he went for the farthest ones first, and then newer prelates went and grabbed the closer ones. And they are all headed home. So the way it's looking, he's going to have 3 relics in the Regnitz Cathedral, and then 2 more in a monastery. And he's probably going to build a monastery shortly to take advantage of all of that extra gold. So this thing is lying. I'm gonna... So we can watch his gold just jump up every I guess 20 or 10 seconds. I think it'll jump up for relics. Yeah, so a little hard to tell, but when it jumps up 150 there, that's relics, right? You know, your villagers aren't all dropping off gold at the same time to get 150 gold. So yeah, okay, so he did build a monastery, and the 5th one, holy moly. So 1,100 gold per minute coming in from him. Now, the good news for the Viper is that he is otherwise ahead economically. So 47 economy to 35. Pardon me. Get some water here. So he is ahead in terms of, for example, food But it's gold he's going to have to worry about here. You know what? Viper's going for a fast Imperial Age. I like this a lot. I think he needs a very clear plan as to what he's doing in the Imperial Age. But look at that food. And so he's just going to get the gold he needs. He knows he has the food income. Let's go to the income per minute. Food income way, way higher for the Viper. So might as well take advantage of that. It's going to take Fitzbro a long time to accomplish that with a smaller food economy. And yeah, sure, he's going to have the gold. But you need a market to, you know, let's say use that gold, purchase food, and you won't get as good of a rate. So that may sound like, you know, subtlety, nuance, but it matters a lot because that 1,400 gold may not actually be worth 1,400 resources, right? Maybe he only gets 800 resources out of it. So let's keep an eye on the Viper. He's still getting the gold he needs. He has the food that he needs. So I am curious what he... I wonder if he... So there's a couple options. The popular option right now for the Holy Roman Empire is... I'm forgetting... Can I click on a villager and check myself? Forgetting the name of it. I can't check. So I'll show you what he builds when he does it. But one of the landmarks allows you to build villagers 4 times faster and for 1/4 the price. And what that means is your economy ramps up like crazy. And so if they don't kill you quickly, and keep in mind, yes, he's behind in gold economy, but generally his economy is still very strong. He'll ramp up so quickly that if Fitzy doesn't kill him, he is in a very, very good spot. And that's right. And that one's called the Palace of Swabia. So we'll see if that's the landmark he chooses to go with. Running around with some Lancers. You can tell he's still looking for... He's still looking for relics, right? He probably doesn't believe that Fitzbro got all of them right away, and he still looks like he's lurking a bit, trying to maybe prevent Fitzbro from grabbing relics, but it is too late. They're all gone. 100% of them are gone. He may contend the sacred site, so it looks like he's going to be walling off here, and then he'll grab the sacred site behind it. We'll keep an eye on whether or not there's a prelate walking out to this sacred site. These will also generate 100 gold per minute, so that is one small way you can get back into the game. Viper's gold is really low. It makes me wonder if he's actually, like, if he's faking me out with his fast Imperial. So fighting Viper's base, definitely losing villagers. All of 20 villagers idle, sitting in his town center. We'll see how many knights he manages to take out. One went down here. May not take any more out, but the knights he has will drive Fitzbro out of this area. See him refreshing his lumber camp there. Very nice. And I think a lot of players forget to do this, but you do still want later in the game, if you're not within the radius of your Aachen Chapel, get your prelate and make sure they're continuing to buff villagers, because that is such a strong advantage. Viper now capturing the sacred site in the middle of the map. And I believe he's probably capturing the one down here. He is. So we'll see if he gets both. Fitzbro may actually kill this prelate before it happens. Oh, isn't microing enough? Probably could have killed that prelate, but Viper has quite a few Lancers now, and it makes me wonder if he's just mismanaging his food or what, because I don't see any sign of him going to the Imperial Age anymore, and it seems like he's transitioned pretty much. He sold a lot of that food for some gold, and I believe he's building more Lancers. So 4 stables, absolutely pumping out Lancers. You can see the queue at the bottom there. Fitzbro, on the other hand, has reached the Imperial Age, and he went up with the Palace of Swabia. So take a look. Look at the villager queue here. Each of these villagers producing in 5 seconds and costing only 12.5 food. So if Viper does not do enough damage soon, he is in trouble. Fitzbro will be in a commanding lead. We'll have just an overpowering economy. On the other hand, Viper did get both of these sacred sites by about the 14-minute mark. So technically, he will win by somewhere before 24 minutes with that 10-minute timer if Fitzbro doesn't push him off of it. Now that's pretty hard to pull off. Only a wood wall here and no wall here yet. But Viper definitely doing his best to put the hurt on. And figures, you know what? There's a bunch of relics in the Regnus Cathedral. Why don't I just torch this thing down? You don't have the knights. You can't stop me from doing it. I'm going to spam knights. And I will, remove this 900 gold per minute that you are currently getting. So I do like this play from the Viper. Repairs coming out now from Fitzbro. So we'll see if Viper catches that and kills those villagers. And remember, Fitzbro can start to lose villagers. He's probably going to be okay with that. Let's take a look at the economies. 60 for the Viper, 57 for Fitzbro. So, and that's after losing a few villagers. So this thing is catching him up into this game very, very quickly, though he's house blocked, which is very punishing when you have the Palace of Swabia, because each 5 seconds means one less villager. So he needs to fix that right away. He's still house blocked. There he goes. Okay, so he probably lost 3, 4 villagers there that could have been produced, and they're so cheap, they're almost free. Not walling here yet, but does have a Hulk, so it will be difficult for Fitzbro to run by here. And the Viper's still just generally putting on, piling on the aggression, running around to the other side, seeing if he can cause some problems, and he will have scouted out the Palace of Swabia. So the Viper will know he needs to act, and he needs to act quickly. On the other hand, he himself can build the Palace of Swabia and simply match his opponent. Well, that's a possibility. He seems to have evened out his economy, and that doesn't seem to be what he's going for. He's walling this off. Wouldn't be surprised to see a stone wall here as well. And maybe he's just going for this sacred site victory. It's so tricky. He needs to be so aggressive with these knights because the reward, the Palace of Swabia pays for itself so quickly. It puts you, first of all, puts you in the Imperial Age, although Fitzy hasn't taken advantage of that with the Imperial Age Elite Knight upgrade, for example, just yet. But, if you generate 40, let's say 40, 45 resources per minute with your villagers, they only cost 12. So within a minute, you've paid them off 3 times already. And then after that, it's all profit. So let's see if he kills some more villagers. Fitzbro has added an outpost with the multiple outposts with the Springald upgrade, which are definitely better at killing knights. So he's really just trying to hold off Viper's knights, which I think is the right play, though I think he should consider some walls, some more defensive structures, maybe even an outpost here with a cannon emplacement, something like that. Maybe even a little farther back, just to prevent Viper from causing all this damage like this. Oh, and you know what? This is the Elite Knight. If Viper takes us out, Elite Knight does not come in for Fitzbro. Oh, take it out, take it out. Okay, so he takes it out barely. He lets it burn down, which was actually pretty risky. But he didn't know that this was where the Elite Knight was coming in. That being said, he does know his opponent doesn't have Elite Knights. So he knows that he can take out stables and potentially remove that possibility. So I love this from the Viper, just being super aggressive. I think he could have done this more so and earlier. He had the resources, but it looked like he was going for Imperial Age. And when you pull out like that, it doesn't do you any favors, right? Because that could have just meant more aggression earlier. And in fact, he sold a lot of that food, and so it did not end up being very efficient. The Elite Knight upgrade again not coming in. So I'm guessing we're going to see it at a much safer stable any second now. Oh, Viper took out... Oh, it wasn't the Palace of Swabia. What building was this? Cannot tell what building that was now, unfortunately. Palace of Swabia is still going, and let's take a look at the economies now. 74 for the Viper, 90 for Fitzy. Not looking good for the Viper if he can't find a way to either solidify his position in the middle or kill the game with his aggression. Somehow I don't think he'll succeed in killing the game with aggression. There's a keep coming in now for Fitzbro. He'll probably get the boiling oil upgrade, which will mean that just jumping on it is much less possible. You'll take area of effect damage on all the units around it, which is not so good. But this is so many knights from the Viper. 34 in here. Yeah, Fitzbro way outmatched for military, so it makes me wonder where his spending is going. Sure, I guess if you think about it, a lot of the Viper's resources, instead of Imperial, did just go into Knights. So that is a big part of why he has a lead. Fitzbro still on regular old knight. Yeah, he hasn't clicked Elite Knight again. So, really good job by the Viper in keeping that upgrade from finishing. And this wall coming in, hopefully it is actually finished as well. Dock coming out here for the Viper with demo ships. Oh man, yeah, so he can hang out here and prevent Fitzbro from getting to the center. Viper is pretty much committed to his Sacred Site victory here, which we don't really see that often, but he has the position. And ultimately, Fitzbro has to push into him. So, Fitzbro has less than 4 minutes. I don't know how much time exactly. Unfortunately, they don't show us a timer. But, yeah, the Viper forcing the issue by getting those Sacred Sites in a timely fashion. Fitzbro with all of that income. Let's see how the income actually lines up here. Yeah, ahead on in every way, and by a significant margin, too. 4 income per minute. Starting a veteran spearman now, but the question is, will that be enough to get through this wall? And I'm just going to tell you now, it won't. I mean, especially with demo ships lurking around here. Viper's going to hide them, and then when he needs them, he'll pull them over. 3 minutes. So at 21:10, Viper, sorry, 23:10, the Viper, no, I can't do math, 24:10, the Viper will win this game. Continuing to run about with his knights. Looks like Fitzbro trying to get in here, but he probably doesn't see yet that there is wall here, and there's no way. He literally can't attack that with knights. He needs siege or elephants to get through. Not that he can build elephants, but just as a note. Probably wants bombards or rams to get through there. Viper going to jump on this. You know what? Like, I mean, these troops aren't going anywhere if he does. Oh, he deletes the wall. I don't think he actually needed to do that. But he surrounds these troops. These are dead knights. This is a great catch by the Viper. Let's take a quick look here. Fitzy being pushed back, sees that he's fully walled in here. Having lost all his knights here, the army numbers for the Viper are at 84, and they're 55 for Fitzbro, and they're mostly spearmen for Fitzbro. Viper started to switch to archers, veteran, probably elite upgrade coming in, wouldn't be surprised. Can even put them on the wall if he wants. Let's see if he does. He does. So that gives them extra range, and they'll take even less damage from ranged fire if that actually happens. Transport ship coming out from Fitzbro. Going to just drop off at the other side, so definitely getting desperate here. Viper going to jump on this with knights, although there are quite a few spearmen in the mix. The knights will not be able to handle that, but that's a lot of knights. I mean, it may not be cost effective, but the Viper can jump on it, and Fitzbro knows. He's done. He's going to lose to Sacred Sites. He calls it. Viper, with just knight aggression, beats Fitzbro on the Danube River in a Holy Roman Empire mirror match. Folks, this has been Paragon RG. If you like this one, subscribe for daily Age of Empires 4 casted matches, and I will catch you next time.